everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of the Shadow Drop podcast. I'm Chris Fox. I've got some people with me today. It's dangerous to go alone. Take Jamie Rathbone. How's it going with you?
Yeah, very well. Very well. Excited to be on episode 1.
And next, it's fun to the power of Mike. Get the power. Nintendo power. I mean, Mike power. And lastly, but not leastly, it's better Ed than dead. Steve Edwards.
Hello, how's it going?
Is it better to be Ed than dead, Steve? Can you confirm?
I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be dead. I wouldn't want to comment.
Yeah, and yet you are a disembodied voice.
That's good. We don't want to offend the dead people there, Steve. Very wise. I like it.
Exactly, yeah. There's more dead people than there are Ed people in the world, so...
So along with all the other amazing earth-shattering content on this channel right here, we're going to be doing a podcast right here to discuss what? Gaming news, filming news, TV news, mostly wrestling news, right, guys? Right, guys? Right? Right? Guys, we're on video now. All the benefits of video. It's like, check this out.
Whoa, you see that?
Wow.
Let's stop.
I was going to take that to Britain's Got Talent, but I decided not to. But yes, 2020, shit year. Guys, what saved you from COVID? What's comforted you the most in lockdown this year? What have you been watching? What have you been playing? What have you been reading?
Reading nothing, absolutely nothing. Now that Steve can take that question about the reading, for sure. I've been doing pretty well with the gaming, keeping up with the big ones. You know, making sure I'm keeping up. I think I've had a nice rhythm of like one big game a month. I think it was like Final Fantasy, into like Last of Us Part 2, into Ghost of Tsushima. I've got I'm excited for watch these smaller games.
Bit of Undertale in there.
I jumped on the. Did I play Undertale with you?
Undertale.
Undertale. Did I play it this year, Steve? You'll remember.
General Undertale in the Undertale, isn't it, Steve?
Let me have a look at my Undertale book.
You
played it, Mike, from 7th of January through to the 14th of February. Yep. Achieving 62% of the trophy. I'm making this up, obviously.
Mate, you were obsessed with Undertale. That could have easily.
I'm not obsessed with you playing.
You were a little obsessed with me playing Undertale. You got
a little bit obsessed.
I wanted you to play it. Yeah, well, you know, it looks like the perfect Mike game, except for one problem.
There's a lot of reading.
I recommended it to you.
No.
Are you telling me if it was a PlayStation exclusive that Mike had discovered, it would be a different...
You tell me, Chris. I'm winking, by the way. You can't see it, but I'm winking.
Steve, you played a fantastic little game this year.
I did. Super Mario Picross. Been playing it a lot. No, I played one of the best games I've ever played. Recommended by my great friend Michael Power. It was called Outer Wilds, and it's hard. It's so special. Everyone. Have you played it, Jamie? I'm sure you must have come across it.
I played about 3 or 4 hours of it.
That's a Jamie-ass game.
I never finished it. We had to come back for the summer, and my PC is in another country.
Oh no!
So I never got to finish it. So yeah,
mysteries unsolved on the Jamie. Oh no, it's a game you wouldn't want to spoil.
No, I definitely want to go back to it, and I'll probably just start. Well, I mean, start from the beginning. That game is kind of not a thing, is it? Really, it's like doesn't really matter if you start from the beginning.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a fair bit.
But it was very impressive, like what I'd got through so far. Like had to work out a few little bits. Yeah, the last thing I did literally sucked me in.
Literally got sucked in.
I could feel what I mean.
Yeah.
Probably quite a nice game to play in lockdown. Endless, a whole universe to explore outside of your world. You're up in a spaceship, but it's mysterious and peaceful.
Even though I didn't finish it, I've had the music stuck in my head for months now since we came back to.
It's also a game which rewards short 20-minute bursts and also playing for 2 straight hours. It's nice
the perfect video game, then you say?
I mean, it's up there. It's up there for the perfect video game.
Mike, this game was last year, right?
It was, yeah.
Because it was a lot of people's game of the year, wasn't it?
Came out early on Xbox and quite late in the year last year on PlayStation. I think maybe last November.
Because I saw it at your house, so this was clearly in the before time, in the long ago.
Yeah, you showed us it, and I mean, it was a really hard game to show off because you're like, these controls are really bad. I've landed on it, and now Oh, and then you were like, and you didn't tell us about the loop thing, so you're sort of looking at me.
We don't want to spoil
I was
it.
like, well, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, like, and you're like, guys, this is my game of the year. And then at that point, Steve and I were looking at each other going, yes, Mike, great game. Time to go to bed, maybe.
What the antithesis must be for games you probably shouldn't play in lockdown would be Last of Us 2, right, Chris?
Well, yes, I played both Last of Us as back to back. Both games were incredible, epic, but also quite distressing and sad. When in game they're talking about quarantine zones and lockdowns, and in real life I'm in a quarantine zone being locked down, and
Close the curtains.
and obviously just in real life I'd shivved a bloody infected on that way home. So it was too close to home.
An old man was coughing across the road. Shiver on
Had
the
to deal with him.
Sniper rifle, that guy.
Yeah, I played the first Last of Us as well this year. It was
Nice.
it was I think I started it a year or so before, and then went back to my save. And some say the best way to play video games.
Yes.
Yeah, give it a year between.
Big 11-month breaks to sort of really.
Be my approach with Outer Wilds. See if it
Nice.
works.
Hey, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes how I play games as well come back after a long time. I remember coming back to a God of War 2 save file, thinking it had been maybe a month or two, and it'd been like 4 years. I was like, but yeah, I mean, it took me a while to get into Last of Us as well, and yeah, I mean, like, incredible playing both games back to back. Typical Naughty Dog, incredible environments. I love the I got to say, the stealth gameplay in The Last of Us is doesn't get talked about enough. I think it's really, really well done. And yeah, just the other day, I had someone come up to me. I was like, shit, not in the mood to talk. Threw a bottle over there, and they went, and just went over there, and I'm like, yes. And then obviously stamped their head into the ground. It's a distressing game. I think I started to have nightmares. The violence is so visceral, and like, oh my god. But yeah, go on, Mike.
It's a funny one to go from. I agree. I feel like both Last of Us 1 and 2, the actual gameplay is not lauded enough. I mean, the visual, the storytelling is all talked about, but they play really well. I went from Last of Us 2 pretty much finishing it the next day, starting Ghost of Tsushima, which is basically supposed to be about being a stealthy samurai, and compared to Last of Us, the stealth mechanics are
Stealthy.
terrible.
Tsushima is a game I definitely am going to play. I was playing Last of Us when it was out and everyone was hyped about it. I think I'll wait a little bit while now and get the PS5 souped up version. I mean, why not? But yeah, just before we leave Last of Us, with respect to the second one specifically, at first I was annoyed when it jumped back in time 3 days, because I was like, what do you mean 3 days earlier? In fact, several times in Last of Us 2, it's like, fade to black, 3 weeks earlier. And you're like, oh my God. However, after getting over that fact of getting put back that many days, I love the dual perspective, no spoilers, of both characters that you play of in that game. I love the way it collides. I think it's actually incredible. I think it's the best job that a game has done that I can think of in seeing both sides of the story. I'm trying not to be spoilery, but yeah, I think it's actually very, very well done.
I was very conflicted in all kinds of ways playing that game, both from what's happening in the game, in the actual story, in the way it actually was told, in the way I was up and down all over the place. And by the end of it, loved it. So yeah, good stuff. Another game that's the opposite again of being in lockdown would be a game that's hilarious, fun, Fall Guys.
Hey! Oh yeah, well, we've played a lot of that, especially on stream, twitch.tv/thepsychofox.
Yeah, what
have you played it, Jamie?
Nah, I haven't played it.
Oh, Jamie.
What I want to know, quickly winding back, because Jamie is always quite sort of down on the Uncharted series. What did you like the Last of Us games?
The Last of Us, I think I did similar thing to you, Steve, and start it, played a few hours, but then what I didn't do was similar to you, was go back to it. So, and that was like maybe.
I struggle with it a lot at first. I found the game. I didn't like the gameplay for a long time, and it was more just having so much free time.
Right.
Yeah. Screw it. I might as well give it.
Do something.
Might as well play it. Yeah, I like. So that was kind of why I ended up going back to it. But yeah.
You end up enjoying it though.
It is good, yeah. Like, I don't love it as much as Chris and Mike. I don't think the stealth mechanics are that clever at all, because there was a lot of times where.
I was about two specifically rather than one.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Because in one, there's the comical moments where I'm like, someone comes over and I kill him, and then I stand just like behind a wall, and another guy walks over very slowly and goes, "Oh, what's going on?" And I kill it, and like you just kill like 7 blokes in a row, yeah, and it's like
Very Metal Gear.
Yeah, no one's reacting how they should react in this situation. Like,
2 does a good job.
Two's a nice update to that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because obviously I'm merging both I'm merging both games in my mind like a bloody merge festival. But yes, the mechanics vastly improved in the second game in terms of AI with the enemies for sure. It's a lot harder because I noticed the uptake immediately.
Oh man, yeah, Fall Guys though. Yeah, Jamie is. Yeah, I guess because you're moving around so much, you're not playing as much as you would. I imagine back in the day, that it's again another pretty Jamie-esque game, little indie game taking the world by storm. Not on Switch. That's the one, is it? That Switch is the.
Let's not forget as well. We've got a new Jamie now as well.
Who's that?
Same Cheddars. Replaces him. Not as good. But, yeah.
What have you played on Switch then, Jamie?
Could still be fun though.
I played on Switch. 2 big ones I played on Switch: Animal Crossing for a long time, and Hades. Played a lot of Hades.
Very similar games.
Animal Crossing.
Mike, I saw you playing Hades as well. Everybody's talking about Hades.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I've loved the Supergiant games for a while, and I love the roguelike as well. I didn't fall as.
Now hold on, Hades is a Jamie Rathbone game.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very Jamie Rathbone. When I heard it, I thought, I bet Jamie will love that game.
Did you?
Yeah, I think the thing about Hades though is like it's sort of so polished and good at things that roguelikes are not traditionally good at, like the story, progression, presentation. Like usually, when a roguelike get popular, it'd be like some, it'd be a bit janky in a few different ways. Whereas Hades is like absolute top tier, like polished. Story's great.
Are you slagging off your beloved Binding of Isaac?
Well, things have moved on. Obviously, I feel like
Jamie
has recommend any roguelike to. Yeah, I know. I'm still playing it up beneath the screen right now. On Switch.
We can hear it.
Yeah, it's like you've got your you've got your big strategy guide to Hades, but on the inside cover you've just got your Switch playing Binding of Isaac.
Yeah. Anyway, check this tattoo out.
I fell off of Hades. I was surprised. I loved the last big roguelike I loved was Dead Cells. That was like absolutely. Dead Cells. I got obsessed with it.
Dead Cells.
Is Jamie friends with anyone else?
Look at his face.
It's great though.
I assume he just was.
Right. No, that's right. That's the image. Forget Jamie's animated face for this whole episode. That's just what I'm going to use for the whole thing. But, Steve, Mr. Rathbone, your silence will only incriminate you further. Mr. Rathbone, no!
Oh, it's so sad.
There's more of an edit.
Great picture. What a smile.
There's more editing work. It's just the way Mike's like is Jamie frozen for anyone? Because I didn't even notice.
I thought he was laughing at everything we were saying, so he's really enjoying them.
He's loving it. He's so happy. What if he is just playing?
Yeah. Well, imagine he suddenly blinks.
Absolute ride.
That'd be the most incredible.
Yeah, someone go really close to their screen and check, and then Jamie will go, "Woo, blah!" Mike, were you pretending to be frozen there?
Yeah, doing really well.
When Jamie comes back, we've all got to be frozen, just like when you pretend.
That's pretty good, Mike.
That's great.
That's really impressive. You haven't blinked.
I think maybe he has just. Yeah, like when you pretend to be asleep when your mum comes in the room. Let's pretend to be frozen when Jamie comes back.
Pretend to be asleep.
It'll be easy for me. Mike is
save it, Mike.
Talent at this.
Save the energy for when we have to freeze.
Someone's had practice at
do it.
Wow, one of you's really convincing, and the other one is making a lot of noise and moving. Mike is incredible. This
Chris, you're a bit like when I get Ellis to hide. He's behind the curtain. He's like,
Chris is just like he's like moving more than he does normally.
So, okay, let's freeze.
In the contrast to Mike, unbelievable. Like the eyes, it's the eyes that don't even flicker.
It's almost completely dead behind those eyes. It's almost like
eyes of a murderer.
Here comes. Oh, there he is.
There he
Made
is.
it back.
You froze in such a lovely position. I assume it will be featured somehow. You were just frozen in lovely. No, you were in the
Chris is frozen
you're
as well, look. Disaster.
Oh fuck, Chris, you frozen, mate.
Oh, Chris is frozen.
I can't stop laughing.
The smile, like losing in a constant laugh.
Oh dear.
That's amazing.
and finally, the benefits of video podcasting present themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At last.
Visual humour.
Jamie, what was the last thing you heard, Jamie?
I think I was in the middle of speaking about Hades, saying that if I was to recommend one roguelike now, I wouldn't recommend The Binding of Isaac or Dead Cells or whatever else. I would recommend Hades.
Wow.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. It just didn't grab me. I found like only like one weapon, the shield, and I felt like it's the only one I could do anything with, and got a bit bored quicker than I wanted to. I'm a bit
You
sad.
need to have a run where it all clicks and.
It did with the shield, but I've
synergize.
done it a couple of times, and it's just. But then I've got to Hades 2 or 3 times. He's beat the crap out of me, but I don't know.
Right.
Dead Cells are still
You
my
didn't
baby.
like the story stuff and like the
Oh,
presentation.
that's great.
all
That's
that.
really great. I love going back and talking to the characters, the voices and stuff. I mean, the Supergiants, Bastion, and Transistor, and those games, like they do the voice and everything so well.
I think they're so well done, yeah.
But yeah, no, it didn't quite. The roguelites didn't quite grab me. Maybe because I was playing a lot of it on the handheld. I probably should blow it up on the screen maybe and do a big impression. But
Yeah.
It's
I
clearly
was
a
playing
great
it
game.
on handheld quite a bit, yeah. No, I've been really enjoying it. That, and yeah, Animal Crossing, the other one that I've been playing a lot.
Everyone was playing Animal Crossing. A particularly great game, I would imagine, to get away from the horrible reality that is 2020. It's not my kind of thing, but I love seeing other people enjoy it. I love seeing people's rooms that they decorated and shirts and stuff.
I agree, impressive as all hell, isn't it? And there was that first game, wasn't it, earlier in the year, where it really made people kind of. And what sold is that the second best Switch title of all time? And
My
it's just...
God, the Switch has had a good year. which is weird considering people aren't going anywhere and it's a portable console, but it's good news. It's been Wii numbers this year. Wii numbers, people.
Exactly, but not as exciting. But I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. But it does work because of the whole on the Switch. And again, if you're at home with your partner or whoever, and they got the TV, it means you cannot separate each other as much because you can split up and play in your Switch while they're watching something all in together. So it's that's definitely, I think, part of the appeal of the Switch, right?
What television programs does your partner watch that makes you pull out that Switch for a bit of Fortnite on the side?
She's watching First Dates Australian. Oh, Just Married at First Sight.
Yeah, Married at First. I mean, that's pretty nuts, isn't it? What a perfect game to get! What a perfect show to get like highlights of audio-wise while you're playing Fortnite. That's amazing, Mike. I love it.
She usually watches pretty good TV, but that one is.
Hey, no, I'm not judging.
Hey, I'll be either.
Steve, speaking about shows, what have you been watching during this lockdown period?
Oh, I rewatched the entirety of The Wire during lockdown.
Another cheery, uplifting watch there, brilliant.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I mean,
With Cheddars.
Well, he'd seen it once, like years ago, and he wanted to watch it again for ages, and it felt like a good time. But it's boring to say, isn't it? But it holds up so well. Obviously, it's still better than anything else I think that's ever been made. I watched a film the other day quite a new topical political movie called Borat 2.
My wife.
Have you all seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh no, that's good.
It's been good to see. It's been more of a release to see COVID tackled in comedy shows like South Park, the pandemic special, and like Borat 2 subsequent movie film.
Yeah. I like the fact that both of them are essentially origin stories.
Yeah.
It's great.
I said,
That's a good stinger.
Borat 2 is pretty good. It's all right. It's not.
I have
earth-shattering.
I have a huge complaint to make about Borat 2.
Go for it.
And it's not going to be spoilers. I'll try and avoid spoilers. So there's essentially there's a character, Jamie, in the film. She's like she plays a babysitter, right? And she's she comes across very well in it, and she like, but quite clearly she's scripted. Quite clearly she's a character that's. No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
There's no way she isn't scripted. Everything she says is so important to the arc of the story that there's zero chance that the things that if she wasn't scripted, she would have phoned the police instantly when Borat turns up with his daughter, right? And now today I read on Twitter that she's like furious with. She didn't know what she was getting into. She thought it was just she thought she was just looking after an Eastern European guy. It's like, fuck off. You're lying.
I buy it.
Oh, right, yeah. So a camera crew turns up. Borat turns up. She's on a leash with a dog.
These are spoilers now. These are spoilers.
I don't care. This has to be said.
I think I've seen that in the trailer anyway. So
it's ridiculous, and it's not the only one. They are going on national news, and it's all part of it. It's all part of the sort of the Borat story. It's like you're going to go and she's an actress. It's the same with the two Republican guys that he goes to live with. Bullshit, they're not in on it.
Yeah, that's the weird one. It's surprising, but hey, I mean, I guess if you're gonna disbelieve it, then you could be right. But the story today was the woman said she was surprised, but she said she knew it was a documentary. Of course, it's absolutely fucking mental. But I guess they must have told her it's a documentary. It's a bit weird. Just play along.
It's so coincidental that she got in a car with her and took her to get breast. Sorry, Jamie, he's just going to go all in. Taking her to a place to get, and whilst in the car, she gives her a really inspiring speech that changes her mind, and so she then goes wandering off to another place to go to a different. It's bollocks. As if you would like. This is the problem. Like the first film, right? It works so well because you believed. A lot of these people thought they were doing a interview with a journalist from another country. Now. Like when Borat goes to just randomly goes to goes to that like pastor to get about the there's a baby
women's health clinic,
you're like, oh, why are you filming this? By the way, we shouldn't be filming. This is like quite confidential. It's like, we're filming it. Oh, and now you're saying outrageous, ridiculous things, and it's so much. There's no reason for cameras to be there a lot of the time, and it makes it a lot harder to believe. And I don't mind that. I don't mind suspending my disbelief. When I start reading news stories about how the babysitter's furious that she's been set up like this, I'm like, well, this is just a lie.
Steve, congratulations. That was funnier than anything in the new Borat movie. Because
me and Cheddars was looking at a thread where people were going on about like how heroic, she's like the hero of the movie. This is after we watched it, and it took him like 50 messages to finally find someone who said. It was obviously set up, and other people were like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point." Blah blah blah, like erasing all the problems with it. And now this.
Steve,
no, I'm a believer.
Steve, will you not be my new black wife?
I mean, there's some funny stuff in the film, but I'm not happy that they're like basically saying that stuff that couldn't possibly be real is real now.
And that's the debut of our other new feature. Steve's not happy with. Continue, Jamie.
To grind my gears.
Why I hate.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's probably so much less scope for them now to do actually legitimate unscripted interviews, and then like I suppose the flip side of it is you end up with something like the Ali G movie where it's
I mean, like for me, the bits that felt genuine were usually the bits when it was just the daughter interviewing or talking to people. But any bit when Borat was in the suit, it's like you knew it wasn't real. And then occasionally he'd be in these ridiculous fancy dress outfits. And he's too well known. Like I say, I mean, like they even cover it at the start of the film. Like he's one, like, oh, Borat. And it's like, oh no, I'm not Borat. It's funny. Like he's running away. But yeah, like I say, I've got no problem with. But it's the fact that I think this is awfully suspicious. Like there's also the thing about the like the Jewish lady. She died, and then her family were like suing them because she was like, misrepresented. Blah 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 blah.
Which Jewish lady?
When he walks into the synagogue and he's wearing the most.
Oh right, yeah.
But then, like, a news story had to come out about that. Like this, I think this is just a way to try because I think it's too obvious that something's real.
I feel like you underestimate how easily people can be convinced.
No, but he then admitted he then said that he told the Jewish lady that this is a documentary thing and that he's actually doing an anti-Semitic thing and like so he basically explained what Borat was to her. And then she did the interview, and for me, that for me is quite open. I think that's what he has to do for a lot of these things.
Yeah,
Like-
I think you have to do a lot of context building to drive. It's like, yeah, it's not as pure as the driven snow, but I think you're still talking like 60% authenticity.
What I will say is, I thought it was really nice for us to get a surprise shadow drop of a Borat 2 sequel during COVID on a service that I've already subscribed to, so I can watch it. Stuff to watch, play, save us from COVID. Right now, I'm all for. I'll take it. Give me all of it.
After finishing, I did like a look, and I was like, "It's crazy this film came out, right?" And looked at it. I was thinking back, and it is mad that it got made and released this year. It started filming like in February. They did a bit of filming in February, bit of filming in July, and then out in October with the trailer actually launching end of September.
It was a lot better than I thought. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I did not enjoy it. It's just like after it, I was like, you kind of had to go with it a lot more than you did the first one.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And then. And it's like, I don't mind that either, but it's the lying. I'm getting lied to.
I don't know. I can't. I don't think you're getting lied. I think there's definitely like shenaniganing.
Wow.
But I think you're probably a bit. I think you're not being. Lied.
Steve's absolutely furious.
Furious.
I was. I don't understand. But there's not because me and we were talking about and we were discussing which bits were possibly staged, which bits were staged, and we were like, well, that bit's definitely staged because her whole thing is so important. The arc of the story, like the plot doesn't work if she's not in the film, and then
it does.
But like the whole point, I can't really talk about it too much.
I would say with something like Borat, something like Impractical Jokers, you can't underestimate how often plants are used.
Yes, absolutely. And as long as it's still funny, it's fine.
Yes.
It didn't affect the comedy. Jamie, I assume you've finished reading Infinite Jest now. You've had so much time.
Oh yeah. Finished reading the 4th page, I think.
Oh, smash it!
Didn't get very far.
It's pretty good, actually.
Things I've read during lockdown. Well, I read a couple of Philip K. Dick books.
Oh, very nice.
And Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and then Ubik, which I preferred to the androids.
Nice. So overall, Jamie, would you say that you now love Dick, or?
No, I love Dick. I love a bit of Dick.
Love a bit of Dick.
Not too much.
double
Not too
Dick
much. Just the
during
right
lockdown.
amount. Good work, man.
I've read a few things, guys. I'm sure you're very interested. I'm sure this is what the main reason we did the podcast, right?
I think so, yeah.
To hear what I've read. I started reading
Club.
one of the big ones, In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. I don't know how familiar you guys are. It's 4,000.
Not at all.
It's 4,000 pages long.
Can I just say, it's one of my favourite In Search books. I love In Search of Lost Time. I love Where's Wally Now, and I love
Exactly, yeah.
I love Street Fighter 2. Find the characters. They're all brilliant.
Has a good In Search of Where's Wookie. That's a good one.
Yeah. Who
So
did
it's
I?
sort of like a...
Did I get that for someone?
My favourite
You might
NERD
go for me,
album.
maybe.
Yeah, I got it for you. Where's
Yeah,
Wookie?
you did. Yeah. It's great. He loves it.
That's how you get a present.
I thought I'd have a break from reading, the sort of a
Your
French
trashy
philosopher.
romance novels you always read. Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's another French philosopher I started reading, actually. My Life in Red and White by Arsene Wenger, the autobiography I've started reading.
Famous philosopher. Famous.
The great man himself.
Yeah, bloody good read, that is.
I'm waiting for
Actually,
the movie.
it's like, I was saying to me, my mum the other day about it, I was like, there's two kinds of autobiography, I think. There's like your trashy reveal autobiography, and there's the sort of, I'm going to take the classy, respectable route, right? You can probably guess which side Wenger's autobiography falls into.
Class.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, comparing it to say, you could probably guess what side Morrissey's autobiography falls into.
I love that, Steve. I thought you were going to say there are two types of autobiographies. There's that trashy garbage, and there's Arsene Wenger's autobiography.
And there's also, yeah, exactly. There's everything else.
The Wenger.
Actually, no, it's very like, it's. If I'm being honest, it's quite flimsy. He doesn't delve into anything. He brushes over a lot of the interesting things. He tends to brush over, and he just sort of talks. It's mostly talking about his how he developed his management style, and his main pride thing was how he balanced the books so well at Arsenal during the difficult.
I think he's
moving
still very
stadium
much
years.
like company man, isn't he? And he doesn't want
He is, yeah, like
rock the
like
boat.
people point out that like he had a huge rivalry with Jose Mourinho, and Mourinho isn't mentioned once in the book. So
Rubbish.
So yeah, I'm sure Mourinho lays into Wenger in.
Yes, well, no doubt. Yeah. I think he's done adverts where he's laid into him.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Arsene Wenger's management style, Steve. Team individuality. That's one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically what it is. But yeah, that's
On a similar note, I did start Peter Crouch's book,
Oh, lovely.
How to Be a Footballer.
Are you interested in doing it?
Almost on the level of Wenger's, what I imagine.
We're going to take it
Prost.
up, yeah.
He's pretty tall.
Great.
Front to back.
Great line from Peter Crouch, guys. Do you know what he said? When he said what he'd be if he wasn't a footballer? A virgin. Oh, yeah. Crouchy.
But that's funny.
I love
It
it.
is funny. Yeah, it's very good. He's a very funny man, Peter Crouch.
Has
He's got
anyone
a great
made the
sense of humour.
connection how he's called Crouch, but he's really tall?
Whoa, because he often has to crouch to talk to.
Very good, Mike. And you're called Power, and you're very strong.
Here's something surprising that you may not have thought about watching during lockdown, but I can't recommend it enough. Live performances. I've been watching a lot of gigs. Like today, I was just watching a bit of Muse Glastonbury 2004. We were there, Steve.
Nice.
Bloody great show.
Indeed.
But
Wearing
yeah,
his white coat.
2009 was pretty good too.
2010.
Yes.
You know, like at the moment when we can't gather in crowds, you know, seeing these crowds together, singing along, cheering, having a great time. It's great to watch in the absence of actually being able to see live music. It's a lot like Music Mondays on twitch.tv/thepsychofox. But look up an artist on YouTube, watch a live gig at the moment while we can't have live parties and live gigs and stuff. And it's really cool. It's really cool. It really helps, I would say.
Nice.
Isn't
Jules Holland still going? Yeah, as if. That's weird.
What did you both just say?
We both said Jules Holland is still going.
What, you mean still alive? What do you mean?
Well, no, tonight with Jules Holland still on telly.
Oh, we had Charlie Brooker, of course, doing his quarantine wipe or whatever it was called at the start of the lockdown.
Antiviral wipe.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's nice to have a few comedy specials about the most horrific year that we've ever lived through. The talking point is last generation of video games. It was the best of gens. It was the blast of gens. You stupid monkey. Highs and lows of this gen. High, Switch. Lows, microtransactions. And that's the end of that topic.
Nice, yeah. Seems about right.
Day one patches. And
that are bigger than the sun.
It's been funny actually. You've seen. I mean, it's not just that, right? I've been playing a bit of that Call of Duty Warzone with some people, and that game is now about 200 gigabytes big.
Oh yeah.
So you've got this weird spectrum of these games being patched. You're starting to see a trend of people patching their games to make them smaller. Like Fortnite's being patched and that to me, I'm not a technical person, but the idea of putting a patch out that shrinks the size of the game.
I told you guys. I think I bought Call of Duty 4. No, wait a minute. I bought Modern Warfare. What is the new one called? I bought the new Modern Warfare, put it in my console. I was like, you need to free up 100 gig. And I just took it out and went, you know what? No. Arrogant.
Yeah,
Popped it on the shelf, went, no.
It just means that every time I try and play it, which is once every month, there's a 60 gig download. I'm like, sorry guys, can't play because.
And we were just. Yeah, and we're like, hey, let's play some Street Fighter 5. It's like, sure, we'll play some Street Fighter 5. Nice. Make sure you start the installation of Fortnite before we want to play, though. Fortnite. Yeah, exactly. Haha, Mike.
Yeah, Fortnite's been pretty good. I'd never touched it, but I didn't get into Battle Royale until Apex Legends came out last year, and finally fell in love with one, and then I hadn't touched Fortnite until they did the Marvel stuff recently. And you got to give Fortnite's credit for what it's done this generation. Being as most you may know, being a primarily PlayStation gamer, they put out their video of like 1 second from every game that's behind the PS4 gen.
As most of you know, Mike, this is episode 1. No one knows who we are.
I mean, most of you in the room, and then updating people who don't.
So not all of us in the room.
Well, some of you. Yeah, PlayStation put out like a 1 second from every game that was important, and yeah, it was definitely striking that a lot of the games I loved were the smaller games like Outer Wilds, Dead Cells, The Witness. Those are the real games that really stick with me.
Undertale.
Last gen. It was in there. Yeah, it was featured.
What other games pop out for you, Jamie, and for you, Steve, from this generation? If you went to think and were just to suddenly blurt out the most important memories from this generation, what would you say?
I'm going to surprise you. Undertale. I haven't mentioned it much yet before. I don't know if I've told you guys actually.
But one that the audience doesn't know.
No, it's the best game of this generation.
Whoa.
It is. It's the best game I played this. My favourite game of the generation.
I didn't say anything.
I have the best taste. So it's the best of this generation.
You got a bit mad with power. You got a bit mad with.
Yeah, when you can't see me.
And
I'm
then-
like,
yeah,
say
Undertale
what
turned
I
you
want.
into a monster.
Play Deltarune yet, Steve?
I played Deltarune. It was really good, but it obviously leaves you wanting. Have you played either of them, Jamie?
I played Undertale, but I didn't 100%
Yeah, I know.
do everything.
Not
I
a
know you
pacifist,
do
Jamie. Not a pacifist.
Do you know how I know you didn't, Jamie?
Because everyone
Talk about
talked.
it all the time. If you had, it's all you talk about.
I thought you would say because everyone at the Undertale meetings won't stop going on about
Yeah,
Jamie.
exactly, yeah.
The best moment from this generation was obviously when Kenny Omega came out to Megalovania. I mean,
Exactly.
does it get better than that?
Kenny Omega and me would get on great, I think.
Yeah, and I think Mike would really like him as well.
And The Witness, yeah, Mike mentioned it earlier, but The Witness special.
Yeah.
And Tetris Effect was really good. What about you, Jamie? Games that come out.
So I think my favourite game this gen. We're counting Switch as this gen, are we?
Yeah, the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
This gen is the Switch. You've got it right there, Jamie. Nothing else to mention.
No, Breath of the Wild. That's got to be number one for me.
Magical, incredible.
Yeah. If ever there was a game that could transport you out of a miserable,
Yes,
harsh reality,
yes. It helped me through a
it's
very
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild helped me through a very difficult time, and I would say that maybe 1 out of 4 people doesn't think it's that great, and that 1 out of 4 is Steve Edwards.
Oh.
Really?
Huh?
Huh?
5 hours. 5 hours, Steve.
Just a bit dull, isn't it? A bit boring.
I'm not in love with it as everyone else, but at the time,
Oh!
I don't know.
2 out of 4 people.
No, Mike said that.
Just
Mike,
doubled.
no, Mike, you said that you loved it so much that you didn't want to finish it. You told me, "Don't fight Ganon. I didn't want it to end. Don't finish it." So I too left Ganon until 285 hours of gameplay.
It was more because the ending wasn't.
No,
But
that was not what I took from it at all, Mike.
The game's not about ticking off the actual story beats, is it? It's about just okay.
The world.
Where should we go next? Exactly. No, it's fantastic.
Boring, yeah.
What a
I
launch
think
title.
I struggle with aimless derivative. No. I struggle with aimless open world games though. Like
Aimless.
when it's like go do what you. No, but you know, go
Yeah.
do what you want. The world is your oyster, and it's like.
I'll
like
agree,
to
Steve.
have specific missions, and I
It-
like.
It is as limitless as the user playing's imagination. So.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly, yeah.
sorry, Steve. Aimless. There's a big purple monster surrounding the castle. Go and fight him.
And that's the one place you're not supposed to go.
No, you can go there if you want. If there's an aim.
It's not recommended, is it? Everyone's like, go and get me a sandwich. Go and make me some soup. Like, make your own bloody soup, mate.
I played that.
hours
I
to
played
find the
that whole
ingredients
game.
first.
I played that whole game vegetarian.
How are you saying that game is aimless, Steve, when it's got the most brilliant gyro aiming functionality I've ever seen in a game?
Well, there you go.
Come on now.
I love Odyssey. too much.
Odyssey's
I love
incredible
Mario
as well,
games.
yeah.
'cause,
Odyssey was great.
And I played loads of Mario, and then I went to Zelda, and obviously it's inferior.
Although,
And,
Odyssey diverges from Mario in that aimless open world, do what you want.
There's always moons.
I could have done with it
Jamie.
more of that actually in Odyssey.
There's always
If Breath of the Wild had moons to collect, I would have been all over it.
Korok seeds.
No, that fact, he was great, the big Korok, actually.
Shakalaka!
Okay, I'll take it back. It was Game of the Year.
I wanted more from Odyssey. That's all I wanted. I wanted like DLC. I wanted some extra planets, some extra galaxies to go to.
Yeah.
The surprise at the end with going back to 64 was that was an astonishingly great bit.
The bit where you take over as Bowser.
Yes.
Really fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Great moment.
Should have seen it coming.
That Sonic Adventure-esque rock song plays. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
it was so good. I loved it. I was like I say, I kind of went out of it. You thought,
touch the ground.
should have known this was where it was going, but at the same
But you
time,
don't think about it till it happens,
it's
you're like,
absolutely
yeah.
brilliant.
So, yeah.
Bowser.
I'm Bowser. And it's like, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes.
Down.
That's like another thing that Nintendo just will do brilliantly and then just throw away and never
Yeah.
reused
Yeah.
again. Like Galaxy, isn't it? Like every single idea in that is
Oh.
Very ballsy.
Going back to every single mission, you've basically got a bespoke power-up or maneuver
Yeah.
to do. And yeah, you're right. And then it's just next. Mario 128 was planned to actually come out for a long time. but they kept adding to it and adding to it. Individual ideas, everything was put in. I love the rule that they've got to have a power-up. They don't put a power-up in a Mario game unless it makes them all laugh. And then you picture that one where Mario's just in the spring and you're like...
Yeah, that's the first one I literally thought of. And then the Pokio.
So great.
The Pokio's the one I was thinking of, yeah. The Pokio was so much fun to control.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey 2 would be just what the doctor ordered. More, now. Shame we didn't get Galaxy 2 with the remastered collection, but Nintendo have now...
still coming, though.
Yeah, Nintendo have now shown us that they've got the N64, they've got the GameCube emulation ready to go. So it'll be interesting to see how they trot it out. I don't predict N64 games coming to the online service. I reckon they'll sell them separately, piecemeal, on the Nintendo eShop. But
they've sort of set a precedent with 64 being sold, right?
Yeah.
And if they did it the same as the others, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
yes,
64 would have to be in those games that they offer.
No, exactly. And that's another thing, actually, during lockdown. Steve and I have been playing a lot of NES and SNES online. It's been fantastic. When it works, it usually works. And I've got to say that Nintendo, all the stuff you get for Nintendo's online service, the measly price that they charge is amazing.
£3 a month?
Super Mario 35 is my favourite battle royale. I'm about a level 62 in it now. I've come first like 10 times. I love it. Limited.
I love Tetris 99. I haven't played 35 yet. But,
it's so great. Well, don't forget it's available only until March, so get on it. I've got a theory that what Nintendo are going to do is when they take away Mario 35, they're just going to shadow drop Super Mario 99. And at the moment, they're just using it as a testing base. Because it doesn't make sense to have it available for a limited time. It is a very Nintendo thing to do. But it does not make sense. The Chewbacca defense. It does not make sense. That doesn't make sense!
Tetris 99 is one of my games of the generation as well. Because it's so... Well, it's that and Tetris Effect, like two sides of the same Tetris coin.
Yes, Tetris Effect, amazing. Steve, you loved it.
Same.
I think I caned Tetris Effect too much because I didn't have a Switch when I got Tetris Effect, and so then when I eventually got my Switch and started playing Tetris 9, played so much Tetris Effect, like ridiculous amount that But Tetris Effect, it's so good.
VR as well.
It's such a great game to just like. It's like literally one of the few games I've ever played where like. I remember how, like, being really, like, annoyed and upset about something. I was just, like, lying in my room, like, pissed off. And I was like, I just put on Tetris Effect. And it literally just calmed me down. Yeah, it's like, it's so relaxing and chill. The music sort of...
Every button press combines with the soundtrack, the atmosphere, the ethereal sounds. But
what came to mind straight away, like... the first level.
The first level... Yeah, it's all you need. Like, if you just want to show someone how good the game is, just get that first level off. Because the song's so good. You've got like dolphins swimming in the background and stuff. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, the different the variety of environments that you see in that game, and I love seeing properties like the original Mario Brothers and Tetris still in 2020 being reinvented, feeling completely fresh. There's so many. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Royale Friend is going to be a thing of this gen, right? Like a trademark of this gen. Battle Royale in.
Yeah.
Even Forza did it.
Are we looking forward to Pac-Man Battle Royale? It's quite happen at some point.
Oh yeah.
GoldenEye 007 Battle Royale.
Oh.
Wasn't there a Pac-Man thing announced about a Pac-Man party?
There must be, yeah.
I'm, without going away to look it up right now, I think we can all safely say, yes, there's a Pac-Man Battle Royale, either out or coming out.
That's what Tetris Effect reminded me of, was Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loving that.
Mm.
Plus, Mike was a bit sniffy about both of them as well, so it's quite convenient.
Yeah, well, Steve, obviously, you're waiting for the Undertale Battle Royale as well.
Oh, yeah. It is funny as you think all the different games that work in. Because, like I say, like you never would have thought Mario or Tetris would work in Battle Royale, and bam.
Jamie, you got to play Mario 35. It's really fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
we'll give it a go. For sure. Genius idea.
Mario 35 is one that I'm good enough at as well. Like, I'm not quite good enough at Tetris to win consistently, but on Mario 35, I've got quite a good technique going down.
Nice. I've seen videos of people playing Tetris 99, and I can understand why, to be honest with you. People are insane at Tetris. Like, and you actually watch videos of people like experts at Tetris. It's
when you
very
watch like grandmasters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
actual fashion.
It sort of your eyes just sort of like start melting when you're watching it.
Yeah,
it's like seeing someone do a Rubik's cube like professionally.
Yeah,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
really it's like, and they will do it's the T block spins that I don't understand.
T block.
That's how you get the most points, but I don't know how to set up for them. So
It's just so difficult to actually implement in a game. It's like in a fighting game where you learn a combo, and as soon as you play an actual match, you're just like, I can't.
yeah, like I occasionally get lucky with one, but like watching people actually set up for them every time. It's like I don't know how they do. I know
You get a T-spin mini, if anything.
I know how to set up for a Tetris. You leave a big line.
Yeah, leave a big line.
I can do that one.
For the line
Very
piece.
intuitive, that one.
But Steve, only a master of dexterity could rotate the T block.
It is done. It's done.
Line piece. I have to thank the generation for Titanfall 1 and 2. Titanfall 2 is getting a lot of love after the fact. I was on the Titanfall train from day one. That's why I chose Xbox One over PS4 initially. But yeah, like one of my absolutely favourite games of the gen, hands down, Titanfall 1 and 2. Everyone now talks about the Titanfall 2 campaign as being like a little hidden gem. But the multiplayer of Titanfall cannot be understated how incredible I found those series of games to be this gen. And obviously that led into Apex. And so
first person shooter that nailed the movement
it's fantastic.
on foot characters, and you also had obviously the giant robots.
Yeah.
That felt incredible as well when you got them.
And that'll do it.
I played Titanfall 2 after playing Apex Legends, so it was kind of really weird to get used to all the guns in Apex, then go, oh, they're all in Titanfall 2. That's weird.
Crossovers.
But it was pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Anything else from last gen we should bring up? We should touch on.
Good
Yeah,
one. Volleyball was good, wasn't it?
I like Steve's thing of VR. That was, it's not reached its potential, but some incredible VR experiences.
Yeah. I'm now a VR guy, so.
Oh yeah, you are, yeah.
Yeah, I've got one VR headset. About to have two more arriving soon. So.
Wow.
But I mean,
For the
it does
drawing
give me
room.
finally the opportunity to play Half-Life Alyx at some point, which I am incredibly excited
Look
about.
forward to your opinions of that.
Beat Saber,
Batman Arkham VR.
super hot.
Super
Hot.
hot.
Beat Saber on my list of games that I put together, especially.
Nice. All
Games
right, look at
list. Very
that.
nice.
Slay the Spire, Bloodborne, Sekiro Odyssey, Beat Saber, Undertale, Animal Crossing, and Tetris 99.
Yes, Steve,
Run out.
Undertale's
Not many great games.
Undertale was every single entry there. I thought that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I loved Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's a fantastic kind of play.
Yeah,
game
that was a laugh.
Yeah, I love that game. So,
nice. Yeah, Fall Guys Among Us, Jackbox have been excellent party games to enjoy during this downtime. This lockdown coronavirus period has gone on so long that you just forget what happened at the start. Streets of Rage 4 at the start of lockdown, everybody. Another resurrected franchise that came out this year that delivered a very, very good experience. Streets of Rage 4,
Excellent.
yeah, it's amazing. I played it to death, to absolute death. It was so good. So, Steve, you're not like a day one adopter when it comes to consoles. How long do you see yourself waiting to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X?
I don't know if I'm going to get a PS5. To be honest with you, 'cause
Never say never.
never say never. But
Thunderball.
I still personally feel like I've barely scratched the surface on my PS4. Like, because I only bought a Switch like in the last year or so, and my PS4 not that long before. So yeah, there's so much to play on those two.
Yeah.
And games are so expensive anyway that I'd rather just wait until games become comically cheap on PS4 in a few years and just play everything on there than.
I last month bought an Xbox One X. So I thought the time was right. Strike while the iron's hot.
nice.
It's perfect time to buy a 6-year-old console.
Nice.
The One X is not 6 years old, but the Xbox One. Yeah, I have a Game Pass sub, and my PC I don't have access to at the moment. So I thought, make use out of the Game Pass sub.
Game Pass is
Get an
incredible.
Xbox One.
Game Pass is actually incredible, and they're so smart because the first month is £1, so they get you, and then you're like, cancel it, effort. So yeah, I mean,
did the thing where you bulk buy 3 years
Nice.
of gold, and then
wow.
convert it all to.
And
Ultimate. So I'm probably going to hold off on next gen as well for a little while.
Especially with the Xbox environment, there's no need to jump on day one because, like I said, there's no killer app experience to play on Series X. all Series X games will work on the Xbox One, you know, which is weird. For a while I thought, aren't Xbox going to kill the launch of the Series X? But what they're doing is, it's hilarious how, Mike, you know, each generation, like, the companies switch. We're the evil company, we're the good company.
Yeah.
Now we've switched even down to
Good guys.
even down to who's got the big, giant, ridiculously sized box this gen. Last gen, Microsoft with their VCR Xbox. This gen, PS5 with their actual shard building sized console. But yeah, so Jamie, you don't need to. You've got, thanks to these console up.
Yeah.
Thanks to these mid-generation upgrades as well, you bought the mid-generation upgrade, so the leap to Series X wouldn't have been as noticeable for you. I'm going from VCR Xbox One to Series X, so that's going to be a bigger jump, even though that jump's still not very noticeable, as we've said.
And the beauty
It's
is
kind of becoming like mobile phone. Sorry, Mike. Mobile phone.
They've
like,
become very
upgrades.
phone-like, haven't they?
You don't need to do it every year, every upgrade.
Yeah.
You can skip one, get the next one, or down the line get one, and
You imagine they would
still play
care,
what you already want on it.
really
It's
crazy.
clever because you can access Game Pass on your PC, like Jamie said, on your phone. So Microsoft are like, hey, buy our new £500 console if you want. If not, don't worry about it. £15 for Game Pass. You can play it anywhere. Anywhere. And then Sony are like, £90 for Demon Souls. Ah.
Yeah, well, it was £10 for every year it first launched. It's
I can see Jamie though. He's interested when he hears not Demon Souls. He's like,
it does look
maybe that
fucking
PS5 does.
Perk up, I'm like,
It does look fucking good.
I mean, like, just start casually listening. £90 Demon Souls, perk up.
Yeah. Only £90. How did they keep it under 100? How did they do that?
Do you think that all that £90 is going to go into a version of Demon Souls that has a pause function? That would be amazing.
That's a 10-year reference to make it.
They found a way. I know, it's a callback to Ready Game Fire.
Compromise
episode
the creative vision.
No,
It's not.
no, exactly.
Exactly.
I'm a sucker for new console launch excitement as well. I understand the things you sacrifice from being in day one, a large library of games, a different coloured controller or console, that kind of thing. But yeah, new console hype is very exciting for me. Something else that happened last gen were, because of the scope and size of games, the actual physical size of storage that games took up shot through the roof. And obviously these new SSDs on these new consoles are going to fill up very quickly, like quickly.
Both have. I was panicking with it. I was like, oh god, because I remember my PS4. As soon as I got it, popped out the hard drive, put a new one in. I was wondering what to do, but actually, because they both got expandable slots, you don't have to worry about it too much, which is quite a nice feature. Yeah, you have to invest an extra one, but yeah, the first you'll get you through a couple of years, and then there's hopefully the second hard drive will come down in price, and plug one in the back in a couple of years. So that at least they've at least given you a little something to
Bring your memory cards back.
Yeah, well, Xbox Series X really taking a page out of the Nintendo 64 book with the expansion RAM pack that you got to put in the
It
top.
looks so tidy.
Because otherwise, Perfect Dark won't run properly on your Xbox Series X if you don't have that
or
pack
Donkey
in.
Kong 64.
No, it'll come bundled with it because it won't run without it. Go on,
Have
Sid.
we gone a whole generation without a new GTA game?
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but Steve, relax. Don't worry. GTA 5 is coming to PS5. Relax.
Well, this is what I was going to say, guys, because imagine
Relax.
the loading times between all the characters in the new console.
Oh my god.
Did get a new Red Dead, though. Did get a new Red Dead.
But that's
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah,
It's like the
man.
biggest game there is, and we haven't had
That's what
one
I'm saying,
a
PS2,
whole gen.
3 of them.
2 on
PS3,
PS3, right?
and
Yeah.
then, yeah, they should have won, but no. Yeah, it's crazy.
Games taking longer to make, games being bigger than ever, games turning into services. We're seeing fewer and fewer releases, unless you're called Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty. But yeah,
Online is mad. Still in the top 10 selling games every month.
I mean, to be honest, it's working for me because I don't really like G. Well, I'll definitely buy the next one, obviously.
yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
It's an event.
not my favourite gen ever, but it was a good gen. And here's to Generation 9. But everybody, that is that. We're going to leave it there for now. That was episode 1 of the Shadow Drop podcast. Guys, have you had a good time talking to the people out there?
It was the best of times.
It was the blurst of times.
Reference to the start of the episode.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for inviting me into your, I don't know, your front room.
Jamie, it's lovely to
Feel
see
very
you
out.
again. But until next time, until the next Shadow Drop, it's a goodbye from me, Chris.
Oh, you blinked.
Still
Straight
blinking.
away. so much blink.
It's a goodbye from Steve Edwards.
Goodbye, everybody.
A goodbye from Jamie Rathbone.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye from Mike Power.
Black Hawk down.
And we'll see you next time on the Shadow Drop podcast. See you, pals.
I'm waving.
Bye.
Can't see it, but I'm waving.